All right, good morning, everybody. Nikki Burnett here, Taste Life Radio, founder of Taste Life Nutrition, streaming live on KUSH. My goodness, I can't even start the show properly. KUHS Denver, streaming live. This is one of the top stations in the nation, and we love being a part of it. We thank Henry for all the great stuff that he does. Taste Life Radio. We're here to bring you truth and empower you to take care of yourself, to take care of your health, take care of your family, take care of your community. Because if we don't have ourselves, we don't have our family and our community, then we don't have a lot. And this is a time where we're really working hard to create the health and the wellness that we truly need, whether it's physical health, mental health, emotional health. And so I have with me today an amazing person who I just think that this is such God-given timing. You know, when we're in a place in our world where there's such division, and then beyond that there's there's such anxiety and depression and fear and all of these things that are going on, and it's a global issue. You know, it's not just a few places. This is a global issue. And so we have on with us today Genie Goodwin. And so Genie Goodwin, and I just love what you call yourself. It's my relationship, Genie. I just think that that's magical. So yeah, so thank you for being here, and we're super grateful for you. And so we always start the show out with gratitude. And right now, I'm just grateful for, you know what I'm really grateful for actually is the changing of the colors. I love the changing of the leaves. We're in that time, and I'm a summer girl. I love spring because everything's growing and blooming, in the summer because it's amazing and warm. But, when the leaves are changing and we've got the aspens, and it just is beautiful, and it gives me such delight in creation. It just makes me really happy. So that's what I'm grateful for today. Miss Genie, what are you grateful for today?
Well, I'm going to share something really strange. It's going to sound strange, but I'll tell you what I'm really grateful for.
Oh, perfect. I like strange.
You're going to get to know me real quick. I'm just real open. My husband had knee replacement surgery, so he's been, I've been nursing him for about the last 4 months. And he left on Monday to go back to work, and he works out of town. And I'm grateful that my husband left. That he's working again, that he feels solid again, that he's back healthy again. And it just gives me an opportunity when we have these stretches of periods of time apart. It gives me an opportunity to not only focus on what I get to do, which I adore doing, but it also gives me an opportunity to decide, how do I want to build the relationship while we're apart? Because it just opens up doorways to things that you can experience together that you can't when you're together every day. So I really look forward to times when it's time to grow the relationship. So I'm grateful that he's working, that he's healthy, that he's God, that I can focus, and that I can be with you today.
That's amazing. I love that. And I know the feeling. I know what it's like to be in that sort of that nurse position. It's really, really difficult. It's a hard place to be. And then seeing it from your viewpoint, as it's amazing to be together. It's also amazing to be apart, because they both have their positives, and then you're able to build your relationship. So that's a lot of what we want to focus on today, is we want to focus on relationships. And it's not just the romantic relationships, which are of course very, very important, but it's relationships with our family and with our friends and our partners and our business partners and in work, and all of even people that we don't know very well. There's a relationship there. And, and some of us at this point we've been taken away from relationships because we've been so secluded, or things just get really difficult because you're together all the time. And so I'm going to kind of I was going to let Genie take it from here, but I think what I want to do is I want to read her bio because it's just short and sweet and I love it. And then we're going to let you take it away, okay?
All right.
Perfect. Okay, so Genie is a certified high-performance coach, relationship expert, best-selling author. Genie Goodwin's favorite thing to do is to empower people to overcome their challenges, know who they are, and have the confidence and the map to perform above the norm over the long term without destroying their health, well-being, or relationships. Because lonely at the top is not success. I love that. I love that. So, Genie, why don't you just give us a little insight about who you are, why you do what you do, any part of what your history is that has brought you to where you are now. Take it away.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so honored that you would have me on to serve your audience and make a difference in their lives. And really who I am is I'm the woman that has decided long ago that if you had any kind of interaction with me at all, whether it was an hour-long interview or a 5-minute standing in line, I want to make your life better. Because there's something that happens in me when I see the lights go on in somebody's face and I move them out of I'm stuck, I'm terrified, I'm depressed into I can do this, and they want to go for it, and they have that motivation in their own soul, and they step up and they do things that they didn't think they were capable of doing, and then they come back to me and they say, wow, these were my results, this is amazing, let's move it forward. Oh my God, this lights me up like nothing on the planet. It's almost like my favorite people to work with are the ones who are like, okay, I've tried everything. The pros told me to give up, walk away, lose it all. There's no hope. And Genie, can you help me? I'm like, oh, come here. Because you are the answer. You carry the answer. Humanity is the answer to all the problems on this planet. And if I can empower you to step up to the next level, that's why I do what I do. And I've been actually coaching for over 20 years because honestly, you can tell this lights my life. This is the fire of what I'm here on planet Earth to do, to empower other people to step up to the next level. So I've been doing it a long, long time. And I discovered in my own personal journey that every problem in life is actually a relationship problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes it's like an internal problem. I'm terrified. I can't sleep at night. I'm stuck. I'm furious. I'm jealous. I'm scared. Or sometimes it's an external problem. My boss or my team, forget it, right? They're like the nemesis of my life. I can't get the backing that I need. People are standing against me. Right. Sometimes it's a external. I mean, it's an eternal problem. And what I mean by that is what on earth, God, am I here for? What's my purpose? I don't have the focus that I need and the strength to move forward. And sometimes it's an intimate problem. It's like, I love my husband and he's driving me nuts, right? Right. I want him to go out of town, right? Or I love my kids and they're going to jail and there's no connection and they're always angry at me. Every problem in life is a relationship problem. And if I can solve the relationship problem, then life starts to really expand and grow, and your life really is a reflection of all of your relationships in life. If your relationships in life are great, your life is great. If your relationships really suck, I don't really care where you live or what you live in or what you do, your life sucks. It's really tough. Right. So I really honed in early in my career of how do we solve relationship problems, internal ones and external ones, in order to make people step up to the next level. Right. Been doing it a long time. Really enjoy the work. That's me. That's what I do.
Perfect. I love it. So let's dig in a little bit to kind of where we are today. So we live in a place, we talked about this just a little bit a few minutes ago, but we live in a place of we are in fear of other people at this point, right? So there's so much, just this amazing amount of fear, and the fear is increasing the incidence of anxiety, of depression, suicide, alcoholism. So many things that are happening right now because of this fear. And so what what are your thoughts on what we can do? What are tools that you have that you can provide, that you can say, okay, let's step out of this fear. Let's take care of ourselves, step out of this fear. What would you say? How would you handle that?
I love the question. Thank you for that. So I named this show Emotional Warfare, right? Emotional Warfare, Tools for Momentum during stressful times. And I did that because human beings are fueled by their emotions. And so the first thing I want to share with your audience is that since we're fueled by emotions, you should not be afraid of any emotion. It's just a fuel. And if you use the fuel to get the right end result, you don't have to be terrified of what we call the negative emotions. And, you know, when we talk about what we've been going through in the last year, the amount of overwhelm, the amount of loneliness, the amount of fear, the amount of anxiety and anger and uncertainty and losing all of what we consider to be normal in life and being held captive in our own homes, I think of fear as the original F word.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it.
Because fear, this fuel that I'm talking about, has the ability to shut down your brain at a time when you need some real wisdom, you need some real clarity, you need a real plan to move you forward in a direction. And you can't access it because fear actually shuts down your brain. It actually shuts down connections to wisdom and connections to your intuition and your spirit, where all the power in your life flows from. And when you feel high levels of fear, that feeling is actually flushing your body with acids and toxins, I know you know this, that actually destroy your immune system.
Absolutely.
And you'll feel it. You'll feel it like a stomach ache. You'll feel it like headaches, tension headaches. You'll feel your jaw clench, or you'll feel panic or anxiety. All of this is the fuel of fear flowing through your body, shutting down your immune system, destroying your health.
Right.
So at a time right now during the pandemic when your health is paramount and under attack, the worst thing you can do is give in to fear and just go sit in it, because it will attack your health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, and your relationship health. And a mask is not going to help any of that, right? No. So the world has told us the answer is wear a mask and wash your hands and stay away from people. Well, if you wear a mask, wash your hands, stay away from people, and you're terrified, anxiety-ridden at all times, a mask doesn't help that. You've got to actually bolster your immune system. It stuns me that no one in the months and months of non-stop news has mentioned once, hey, go bolster your immune system. They've said, go get a vaccine as soon as we give it to you and keep a mask. They haven't said, how do you grow yourself in the midst of fear?
It's pure insanity.
Become bigger and better.
Yeah, it's pure insanity. And the fact that it's true, we're basing everything on a vaccine, and we're waiting for the vaccine. I have people telling me, I can't see you right now because we're waiting on the vaccine. And at the same time, they won't take their supplements and they won't eat properly and all of these other things. We don't see it in the news. We don't see it in the media. That's something that anybody, anytime I am doing any kind of Facebook Live or any of these things, that's what we're trying to focus on. We're doing a course to focus on building the immune system, because we have to do that. Fear is stress. Stress shrinks the brain. It just, as you said, it destroys the immune system. It increases inflammation. It is a terrible place to live, and nobody's talking about that. The fear is so much worse than this virus.
That's right.
It's pure insanity.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And so, yes, you can absolutely build your immune system. You can absolutely get your diet straightened out. You know, exercise actually really builds your physical health as well as your emotional health. But the thing that I want you to realize today, that I want your audience to realize today, is you can do all of that and then sit in fear, and it will destroy all of your end results of health. And so here's the way I think of Fear and faith is the same force. This is the way I think of it. Fear is faith in reverse.
Yeah.
I'm going backwards and I'm going to hit something that I don't want to hit. Versus faith, which is positivity, and I'm bigger than this, and I'm stronger than this. It's fear in forward, right? Faith is fear in forward. It moves you into what you want to experience in life. So it's not necessarily that I want you to get rid of fear as much as I want you to shove that sucker in forward.
Right.
Because it will bolster your immune system. It will build, what the world is calling uncertainty. Come on, certainty is nothing but faith. Mm-hmm. Faith is nothing but believing something enough to act on it, right? That's really what faith is. So if you're really good at worry, like I'm a champion warrior, I can't stop, just shove that sucker in forward and go, wow, the way I go about worrying is the exact same process I go about building my faith. In other words, I build these pictures in my mind, these amazing pictures that either I'm terrified of or that I really want to experience. And I meditate them or I think about them over and over. And I build these like, if this happens, I'm going to do this. And if that happens, I'm going to do that. If this happens, and if they say this, I'm going to react like that, right? You can do that in the negative, in fear, and cause all kinds of damage in your relationships, in your psyche, in your identity, in your physical health, or you can go, wow, what do I want to experience if they, shut the world down again, if the numbers start to skyrocket again, if my mate, my loved one, says, I just can't take you anymore, I'm out of here, or if my job shuts down or refuses to open or can't get back up, what am I going to do? Like, what would I really enjoy doing? What would be amazing that I could bring to the table that's not there right now? And if you'll meditate it, if you'll think about it, if you'll build these amazing castles in the sky of this amazing gift of a brain that you've been given, you'll shove it in forward and you'll start to feel confident, strong, hopeful. It's just your thoughts that are causing all of it. And you're in charge of what you're thinking. No one else is.
Right. Something that I've seen, these are through people who I know not well, but you've got the Facebook and all this stuff. I'm on Facebook for work, and but there are those who play the scenarios, the negative scenarios, over and over and over in their head, and they can't stop. And it saddens me because I know it just increases the anxiety, it increases the fear, and if we can take that and switch it around, let's switch it around to what could happen in a good way. Let's not think about what could happen in whatever, because we don't know what's going to happen. But let's think about what positivity we can bring out there. What can happen if in whatever situation, what we can bring to the table. Because with all of this, I would never ever ask for this to have happened. But there is positivity that has come out of it, and I think that those are the things that we need to focus on, and that we need to continue to focus on, and come together and continue to focus on the good and what we can bring that brings good to our little world, and then of course to our bigger world.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I use a tool I call power questions to do this, especially what you brought up was they can't seem to get off. They keep thinking about it over and over, and they can't seem to get off. Well, first I would actually shut off all the negative influences. I would shut off all the news, all the social media, all the gossip. I would shut it off and maybe give myself 30 minutes a day, no more than 30 minutes a day, because you want to be aware of what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't want to be overwhelmed by what's going on. So whatever is coming in has a really big influence. If it's all negative, you are gonna be negative, period. That's just the way humans work. So if there's a lot of negative coming in, I would actually shut it down, so no more than 30 minutes a day. And then that helps you to get control of that, thing in your mind that keeps
that
cycle, that keeps going, and you can't get off of it, that treadmill. I would simply ask myself what I call a power question. And I would sit down and I would go, who do I want to be today? Like, no matter what's happening, who do I want to be today? What do I need to learn from this? How can I serve in the midst of this? How can I use, this is what I use when my husband goes out of town, how can I use this time to get closer to him? So that I'm actually taking advantage of a new opportunity that's not normal. That's what I'm looking for. And what happens is when you just sit down and ask yourself these questions, your brilliant brain has no choice but to come up with some answers. And that's how you get off that, treadmill of negativity. Shut off the negative that's coming in. Ask yourself some power questions. Sit down and think your way through. Who do I want to be today? Wow. Do I want to be the woman filled with fear? Do I want to be the woman who can't stand what's going on in this nation politically? Do I want to be the woman who, makes other people's lives miserable because they had an interaction with her?
Yeah.
Yes. Do I want to be the woman who walks around with or without a mask, demanding that somebody else not have one or have one? Like, do I want to be her?
Right.
Because guess who's in charge?
Yeah.
I have all the power, all of it. You have all the power. It's time you actually took some of your power and decided the kind of person you want to be through what is one of the hardest times our world has been through. Like, who cares about that? I always say it this way. You're going through. How would you like to? Because we're going through this.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
How would you like to go through? Because you can go through miserable, anxiety-ridden, depressed, filled with fear, tortured, or you can go, I think today I'm the woman who's going to bring some joy. I think today I'm the woman who's going to bring some courage. I think today I'd like to be the woman who just brought some peace into the room.
Oh, I love that.
And then do that, right?
Yeah. We have so much of it is mindset, which is exactly what you're talking about. Is mindset. We have the ability to create positivity or negativity, and we have the ability to bring toward us positivity or negativity. And that's exactly what you're talking about here. The more negative you are, the more negative the world is going to be, and the more negative you're going to experience. The more positive you are, the more positive things are going to be, the more positive change is going to happen, and the more positivity you're going to bring into your world. And so I think everything you're saying, I just love it. And on top of that, it's how we're affecting others around us. Like you said, our spouses, but our kiddos. I mean, our kiddos, imagine the way that they're experiencing all of this right now. The young kiddos, right? I don't have any, but I can't imagine just being completely disrupted from, not seeing their friends, from not going to school, from always being with their parents. No kid always wants to be with their parents, and I would say probably no parent always wants to be with their kids. Separation can be good. But we still have to take what we have and make it a positive experience as best we can for everybody around us.
It's beautiful.
No.
So here's what I adore what you said. Is very much mental. And the thing I want to remind everybody is there is no separation between your spirit, your mental, and your body. There is no separation. They're all connected. So when you make a mental choice, it floods this body with either positive hormones and chemicals or negative hormones and chemicals. So everything you think is affecting your health, your well-being, and how you show up in life. You really, really need to take control of this thing, that this brain of yours that determines how you show up in life. And now my youngest kiddo is 29, and when this hit back in March, she called me and she said, "Mom, the world is going nuts." And they're about to shut down my town, and if I'm gonna be anywhere through the world going nuts, I want to be with you, because here's what I know about you. This is what she said. It just touched my heart. She said, "Mom, you will know what's going on, and you will be fearless through whatever is going on. If I'm going to spend my time locked down with anybody, I want to be with you. Can I come and spend, the bulk of the shutdown with you? I'm like, oh, baby, come on.
Oh, I love that.
So what that means is I taught my kiddos from yay high how to deal with fear. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect time to teach your kiddos how to deal with fear. Yeah. And it's not, hey, lock the doors, hide in your bedroom, put a mask on, don't touch anybody. No, it's like, who do you want to be today? What do you want to experience today? How can you make somebody else's day better? How can you strengthen your own immune system, your own mental identity of who you are and how you show up in life? How can you make a difference for somebody else? If you don't teach them when they're yay high in the levels of intense fear, when are you going to teach them?
Right.
And the thing is, if you're not teaching them that, they're learning something else. They're learning how to shut down, how to stay in fear, how to get depressed. The suicide rates of teens and youth right now have gone through the roof because they're not being taught how to deal with the thoughts, how to deal with their health, how to move their bodies into a healthier emotion that fuels them to experience life, yes, even in the midst of this really hard time. And again, this is the perfect time. I always say this. Mm-hmm. When I get a client who comes to me and says, we tried everything, nothing works. The pro that we've been working with, the counselor that we've been working with for 2 years has said, give it up, get a divorce, walk away. The husband's gone, he's moved out, he doesn't want to work on it. Somebody told me you can help. I'm like, oh, come here. Do you have any idea what's in you? The thing in you that none of us can live without is called love. Mm-hmm. And when a relationship hits the skids, it's because the other person is not feeling love from you. If I can get the other person to feel love from you, they will come running back. That's what they're looking for. But what people do when they hit the skids is they go, oh, well, here's the problem, and here's the problem, and this hasn't worked, and that hasn't worked. And they're not even looking at love. They're not even looking at, wow, the solution is this big 4-letter word, love. Let's look at how your partner receives love, how you'd like to deliver love, how you receive love, how you can actually get them to step up and deliver what you're looking for. They don't look at the answer. They look at the problems. But you're carrying the answer. And I don't really care if we're talking about a relationship or about your health or about the economy or about what's going on in our world. I don't care what the question is. The answer is, how do you walk that puppy out in this form of love? And here's the coolest part. I get so excited about this. Nikki, when you are walking in what I call love, right, in this force of love, they can wire up your body and measure what happens physically in your body. Yeah. And you go into what science calls the zone. You go into the healthiest state. Spirit, soul, and body all entangled together in the healthiest state, running in the same direction. Love is the healthiest way to live in every way, shape, and form. And most people don't know how to do it. And that's why I wrote that book. I don't have a copy of it. Oh, I do have a copy of that book that I wrote, that best-selling book. It's called How to Win Her and Influence Him.
I love that.
It's how to walk in love. That's all it really is. Through all the hard problems and difficult situations at work and at home that you go through, how would the best part of you respond in that situation? What are the answers, the words, the strategies, the techniques that make the best of you show up and make the other person feel better because they had a relationship with you, even during the hardest times?
I love that. I just think that's amazing. And it's really beautiful, and it's kind of simple and mind-blowing all at the same time. Because if we had that attitude just as a society, there's fear and there's anger. And that's what we're experiencing right now, is fear and anger. And if we could just think about it a little bit and put that into a useful space. and
That's
you know,
right.
bring love to it. We can have some fear. You know, fear and stress can, you know, be motivating if to an extent. Otherwise, it can be damaging and, you know, suck the health out of you. And then anger is just, it's a tough one. Just being pure anger is a really tough one, and not a place that I would want to live in on a consistent basis. And so if we can shift that, I feel like so many things would just work together so much better as a family, as a community, as a society as a whole. And I'm not trying to bring, you know, the, you know, woo-woo, you know, we should live in paradise kind of thing, because everybody has their differences, and that's okay. But that's what makes the world go around, is everybody has their differences, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
It's actually a gift. It's actually
Yeah.
a gift.
Yeah.
Things that you would never think or experience in life. And I truly believe that all emotions are good, all of them. Now, how you walk them out, maybe not so.
Right, sure.
But I think anger is valuable. Anger is necessary. Anger unleashes in your body the adrenaline levels that you can't get any other way, right? Where you can step up and really make a difference. But if you use the anger to cause destruction, you know, the rioting, the killing, the burning down buildings and attacking stores and store owners, I'm sorry. There's no health in that. It's not bringing a solid, amazing answer that needs to be revealed.
Right.
But without the anger, you'll just sit and kind of put up with it, and that's kind of where they're at. So
Sure.
how do you experience the anger, unleash the anger, get access to what only anger can bring, and then do massive good with it?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Because I don't want you to not get angry when
Sure.
somebody gets murdered,
Yeah.
right? That's not the right expression. But what do you do with that anger? How do you bring great and massive good? And that's what I would actually ask myself when I get really, really angry, because you know I do. All right. How can I do good with this anger? Like, what would really make a difference with this anger? And it's not rioting. That's just not that's bringing no good. It's causing even more damage on something that you really should be angry about.
Right, absolutely. Okay.
So there are no bad emotions.
Okay, no, and I love that. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, they're useful. I think they're absolutely useful. Just like you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, quick break. I have to, give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Rightful. Rightful's a great company. I love these guys. They are a pain management company. Their supplement is a pain management supplement, and it's a liquid. It has calming herbs in it. It's got turmeric in it, which is the pain management source, and it works really, really well. And it's worked so well that it's being used now in pain management clinics. And so my favorite part of this is that this is where we're bringing together allopathic medicine and holistic or functional medicine, where we're using the nutrients and the resources that God gave us to help a body, when sometimes we don't need the drugs. And so sometimes we need the drugs for a little while, and we bring the supplement in, and then we can get off of the drug. And that's really the goal, is to help the body naturally fight pain, inflammation. And we always want to know where the pain and inflammation is coming from, but there are some cases where it can't be managed any other way. I give it the example, my husband has a fused ankle. There's nothing really that I can do in his diet to reduce that pain. So something that is going to help block that pain, and it's a natural substance, and is healthy for the body. It's just a great alternative to medication, which can be damaging. So they have a nighttime formula, a morning formula. I love it. It gives me focus. I don't have pain, thankfully, but it gives me focus. It helps me sleep. It's a great company. Go to rightful.com and put in TLN20 and you can get a discount. And they're just good people. So let's move on to some more fun stuff. I love listening to all that you have to say. One of the things I want to talk about, and we're not really switching, but kind of getting into how we can be leaders. How can we lead people into, the movement from having the anger to using it for good? What can we do individually, as groups, however, whatever. I'm going to let you go from here because I don't know. So, what would you do, or what would you say?
Oh, I love this question. What a great question. You know, the reason why it's a great question is because right now we're in desperate need of leaders.
Right.
Desperate need.
Agreed.
One of the biggest things the media is saying is, you're not leading, you're not, which I may or may not agree with, but that's right. But the need is actually accurate.
Right.
When things get really tough, when things get scary, what we need as humans is a leader. And leaders have this amazing ability to display their confidence. They have like rock solid confidence no matter what's going on. They display a sense of courage, like, I got this. Let's go through the battle, let's go through the war, follow me, I'm gonna do it. And they go first, right? Mm-hmm. And when they come from this place of confidence and courage and creating a vision of where they're taking you, like they can inspire you. And the inspiration has the end effect of like bringing the best out of you. This is what a leader does. Right. A leader brings the best out of you when maybe you haven't been. It's kind of, if I go back to raising your children right now, you need to lead your children. You need to inspire your children. You need to bring the best and the big strengths out of them that maybe they haven't experienced before. So leaders bring courage instead of tearing each other down. Leaders empower us instead of enslaving us, right? Leaders paint a vision that engages our hearts and our minds, and then like, let's do it! Like you get the whole crowd like, let's do it! That's a leader. That's what we're looking for. So what a leader wouldn't do would be to paint a vision of death and destruction and shut her down and let's not go anywhere and be afraid until we get that or this. And who wants to be a part of that, right? That's just more fear. That's more shutting down.
More negativity.
Leaders, so you when you want to lead, you start by creating a vision, a picture that empowers others. Always leaders empower others. If they're not empowering others, they're a dictator.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
It's perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're looking for, how can I empower others? How can I paint a picture of strength and hope and courage that will bring the best out of my people so that they'll begin to follow? Leaders really need to focus on their followers. And how am I inspiring others? Because if they're not inspiring others, they're just out there on their own. You need to create engagement. You need to create courage. You need to create excitement about the future instead of dread.
Right. No, I think that's beautiful. So as a leader, it's a tough question because, you know, we have still such fear. How do we motivate those who are stuck? So stuck in fear, stuck in anxiety, stuck in wherever that headspace is. How do we motivate people?
So what people need more than anything else is to be heard, to be validated for exactly where they're at. Like, it's okay to be afraid. We really are going through a lot of stuff. More stuff than maybe someone has gone through in their entire lifetime. Yet at the same time, I'll bet you can think back through things you've been through in your life. Maybe a loved one passing, maybe a bankruptcy, maybe getting fired, maybe a divorce, maybe a kid going to jail or you going to jail, or a health scare, a really strong health scare, and yet you're still here. Like, you've been through so much. Take the strength of all the things that you've been through, get them all together and move forward, baby. Put that thing in forward and get going, because you're still here. It's not over. There's things that you have to deliver that the world can't get along without. There is a unique gift that each one of us have that we're put here to deliver for others. Not for us, for others, to make the difference that only we can make. So you're looking for, okay, I hear where you're coming from. I totally understand the amount of stress and loneliness and fear and anxiety you're going through. You have every right to feel that way. And then you start to paint a picture. You're like, how would you like to go through this? What would you like to experience? You're going through this one way or another. What would make you so proud of yourself if you looked back at this time and you said, wow, I stepped up like that. And then we start to build a plan to get you there.
Right.
Right? We just inspire and bring courage. But again, you always have to start with acknowledging exactly where they're at and affirming it's okay to feel that way. I totally get it. There's really a lot going on. I usually call it this tool, align with and redirect. Okay. Like when you're dealing with teams and when you're having a fight with your husband or your loved one, or you start with align with. You start with, you know, I know you love me, and I know that we both want this to work, and I know that this is tough and we want to get through it. So you acknowledge, I get it. This sucks, the way both of us feel. Now, where do we want to go? And then I would ask the other person, where do you want to go? How would you like to solve this? So that I can admire their strengths and their capabilities and pull the best out of them. If it was a team, I'd say, man, this company so needs your skills and strengths. I'm so glad you're on my team, and I know we're having a really tough time right now. I know that you and I aren't even getting along right now, but I just want you to know that I really appreciate who you are and what you mean to this company, and I'd like to know how you'd like to move forward in it. You see what I've done? This align with, and then we're going to redirect into actual strength and answers, and we're going to begin to talk to each other about what we can bring to the table. And from that point, then we create a plan together, because a plan that you create together, people are already engaged in, because this is their idea, right? You have to talk them into it. On board. That was my idea, right? And so then we start to work together as a team with all the different strengths that all of us have that the other one doesn't. And together, everyone achieves more, right? That's that old team analogy. So that's how I would begin to lead in uncertain times. That's how I would bring the best out of the other person. And I want you to recognize right now that loneliness, I want to say it was 2 years ago when they announced that loneliness was an epidemic.
Really?
And then the pandemic hit. So between it already being an epidemic and then social media, which actually destroys relationships, you have to consciously and intentionally use social media in order to build relationships, or they won't happen. It automatically won't happen. And then the pandemic. Man, loneliness is a real problem.
It's the real pandemic.
If you do the science on loneliness, it will kill you. It will physically kill you. It will destroy your immune system. It will destroy your confidence levels and your ability to step up, and you won't want to get out of bed it will physically destroy your life. It's really something you need to pay attention to. But my belief is that if you're feeling lonely, this is a call from your heart that you've got something to give that you're not giving. It's your heart going, hey, baby, we got to deliver. It's not, no one loves me, no one cares about me, I'm unimportant. No, that when your heart feels lonely, it's going, hey, come on, we got something to give. Step up, baby, because when we give is when we feel strong. It's when we feel valuable. It's when we contribute that we make the biggest difference in life, and that we start to feel fulfilled within our own lives. So loneliness isn't you bad, nobody likes you. It's your own heart going, I've got some stuff to deliver, and you need to get courageous and start delivering it, because other people need what you have to give.
I love that so much because when I talk, if I do talks or if I'm talking to clients or whatever it is, one of the things that I have that's hard for me is that we don't pay attention to our bodies like we used to. We don't hear it. Our body is always talking to us. So when I'm talking about it, it's usually the physical, it's the pain, it's the fatigue, it's the, inflammation or the disease or whatever it is that's happening. It's the body saying, look, I've been going through this for a really long time. I'm finally knocking on your door, and that's what I do. I'm knocking on your door, and I'm getting your attention because there's something going on that you need to pay attention to because I'm unable to do it on my own anymore. Because the body is beautiful and amazing. It's this machine that just runs beautifully if you give it the tools that it needs. But when it doesn't get the tools that it needs, things are going to start going crazy, right? I mean, things happen. And so we can't blame it on, bad luck or age or genetics. It's literally lifestyle. And so at the same time, what you're saying exactly that. It's just the mental, emotional, it's the brain, it's the thought process, it's the cognitive. It's, hey, there's something in you telling you it's a pull. There's something that you need to do here. And I love that you say that because I just think I say that all the time because it's true. We need to listen to our body. We need to listen to what it's telling us because it's constantly talking to us.
Yeah. Now, I was notorious for not listening to my body. Notorious. Like, when I grew up very poor, and if we did anything, it was because my dad made it. So my dad worked 2 or 3 jobs. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, very poor. If you wanted to eat, you had to work. I watched Dad work on the car and use a tool, and he actually cut his hand, and we didn't, his thumb was hanging off, and we didn't have the money to take him to the hospital, so he took a piece of duct tape and he wrapped it around his thumb, and he kept working. I remember when he was working under a car once, and the jack fell, and the car landed on his chest, and he actually had a heart attack, and he and my brother pushed that sucker off, and they went back to work. And this is how I was raised. You ignore your body.
My
and so,
goodness. I can't even. I don't even know what to say.
yeah, totally. This was my life. I completely ignored my body, drove it into the ground until it got so sick and it wouldn't get out of bed for months. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and I would just demand, you get up, you get her done. Until I learned what's called the mind-body connection. And here's the way I look at it. You're made out of 3 parts. You're made out of spirit, soul, and body, and the 3 of them are connected. They are not separate. So every single piece of you, spirit, mind, and body, will affect the other piece.
Absolutely.
And so if there's a problem in your spirit, it's going to show up in your body. If there's a problem in your mind, it's going to show up in your body. If there's a problem in your body, it's going to show up in your mind and your spirit. They really are all connected. And so when I'm working with clients, I'm actually looking at those 3 pieces and what's the most powerful tool I can give you that will handle whatever it is you're going through in life. Sometimes it's a spirit solution. Sometimes it's a mind solution, and sometimes it's a body solution. So let me give you one of those really quickly before we run out of time, because this is one of my favorite ones. You said earlier in this session, what if you get stuck and you can't stop thinking the negative thoughts, right?
Right.
And I gave you my power tools, my power tool questions, which I absolutely adore, and they're so powerful. But sometimes what you actually need is a body tool. So I'm going to share a body tool with you really quickly. I'm going to get up. I actually sit on a ball. I don't sit on a chair, so I can actually, when I'm having a tough time, I can actually just and immediately change my state. But I learned this tool from a man. His name is Joseph McClendon III. And I have to stay down where I can stay in camera. And Joseph McClendon III gave us this tool. Now, this is a body tool for when you can't get off the merry-go-round of your mind and you're stuck in loneliness, or you're stuck in anxiety, or you're stuck in fear. He said, so what I want you to do is I want you to, you see that, my chair? I want you to stick your rear end out like this, and I want you to show that problem some attitude. And this is And he just would have me like, shake your ass, baby. So I like to think of the problem and shake your ass. And if you guys will do this with me, I know I look stupid, but notice what's happening to my energy level. Notice what's happening to my mind and my thought. There you go, give it some attitude, baby. That's what happened. All of a sudden, the energy in my body skyrocketed. My emotions changed instantaneously. So sometimes what you really need is some movement, some attitude, as Joseph McClendon III says. All kinds of movements will completely change your experience of life, and it's seriously that easy. Or I'll have my clients bounce. I'll have my clients close their eyes and bounce and just get yourself in a better state, no matter what you're going through, so that you can think clear again, so that the energy is flowing in your body again, so that you've got access to the strongest part of you, where all wisdom flows from, which we call your spirit.
That's maybe the best thing that I've heard, well, in a really long time. I don't know, because that was so much fun, and it makes so much sense. You know, it goes back to, I mean, really, so much of what you're saying is just biochemistry. You move, energy flows. You know, people do rebounders. You know what a rebounder is? The little trampoline.
I do a rebounder every day.
Yes. You jump on it every day, and it changes so much about your biochemistry. It can lower blood pressure. It can do all of these things, and it's just a little bit of jumping up and down. It's really cool, and that's exactly what you're doing. It's movement. It's getting the energy going. It's getting unstuck, right?
And it will change your psychology. It will change your body chemistry. It will change your thought process. It changes everything. So sometimes when you're stuck in negative thoughts, you really need to shake your attitude. You know what I mean? You really need to bounce. You really need to go for a walk. You really need to use that amazing gratitude tool that you started your show with, because there's nothing more powerful than gratitude. So you can see behind me the word I have on the wall. Can you see behind me the word?
Yeah, joy.
I use those power questions. Who do I want to be today? And I decided years and years ago, I want to be the woman who brings joy. I decided that years ago. And so I created a trigger for my attention to go, oh, wait, are you bringing some joy right now? So I create triggers within my life to show up the way I want to show up. And I think of it as a workout, right? Like, you're not going to show up as your best self unless you work out your best self so that you can show up during the hard times, not just during the easy times. So I decide who I want to be ahead of time, and then I create triggers around the house. So the first thing I do every single morning, my trigger to start my day, you can see my office has wood floors, my home has wood floors, and so I have socks on first thing in the morning, lights may be on and they may be off, right? And I just go sliding across the floor and I go, good morning!
That's amazing. That's amazing.
In order to trigger myself into joy so that I experience joy every single day, because I'm triggering myself. Right? And if I have a bad interaction, a bad call, a challenging something or another, I will take a 1 minute break and I will go slide across the wood floors, because I need to be my best. I need to show up again filled with energy and inspiration and power and confidence, so that I can make the difference that only I can make. And if I don't show up that way, I can't.
I'm so going to steal that. I have hardwood floors. I'm going to steal that.
Do it!
I am. I love that so much. I got to take a quick break because we're running out of time and I have more to talk about. Next sponsor, Zymogen. Zymogen, amazing company. They've got the supplements for pretty much anything you need, right? So they've got any organ system, any problem, they've got it. But the thing is, they are the top of the top. You can't buy them off of Amazon. You can't buy them off of eBay, which are companies that I don't trust as far as purchasing supplements, because the data shows that they're not the same. So it's really scary purchasing supplements from people who you don't know. So be aware of that. Zymogen takes care of their practitioners. They take care of their practitioners, patients, and clients. and it works. They're backed by data. They do studies on their products, and it's an amazing company, and they support me. So I appreciate them for that. You can go to my website, tastelifenutrition.com, and there's a link at the bottom of the page. It actually says Whole Scripts. It also says Zymogen. You can click on there, put in Radio 5, and get a discount on any of the supplements that they have. So they're really, really a great company. And I want to give a shout out to KUHS Denver. We're streaming live. They are amazing at what they do, and they allow me to do what I do. So I'm grateful to them for that. So not real quick, but maybe real quick. One thing that I really want to, what I love about, what you have on your website and what you talk about is radical resilience. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Beautiful, radical.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, you can tell that I'm kind of radical.
Yes. It's good.
And resilience really means the ability to bounce back,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here, I'm on my ball. We're going to bounce back. Now, here's the secret to radical resilience. Here's the secret to life. It's that word behind me, that word joy.
Yeah.
There is something that happens in the body that brings great amounts of health and energy and clarity when you fill your body with joy. So joy I use as a tool to build radical resilience. And we I introduced that to you already. In some of so I'll do 3-day events with people. And in one of my 3-day events, I teach people how to trigger joy. Now, we all can't go sliding across wood floors, right?
I wish we could.
Not that we're allowed to do that anymore. Filled with people. So all I do is I say, so when you hear this noise, I don't have a noise, but let's just say, when you hear this noise, I want you to just laugh. I want you to laugh for 30 seconds. With all your might, I want you to stand up and do big, big belly laughs for 30 seconds, and I want you to fall back into your chair laughing. And I'm just simply, it's back to this idea of working out the emotions you want to experience in life so that when you have need of them, they're strong. They're like on a trigger, like boom, I need joy, let's just bring it. And so I simply have people laugh out loud.
Amazing.
So it goes like this. And I'll give you 10 seconds of it. You ready for it?
Ready.
Well, there you go. So you can tell that I have built joy.
Yes, you have. I'm hot now.
Right? Now, here's what's funny. Your body does not know the difference between what it just did and what the real deal is. When you move over into the emotion, it unleashes those chemicals and your body feels it. That's why movies work, right? They're not real, but you're scared or you're excited or you're feeling romantic because your body doesn't know the difference. And so if you'll pick the emotions that bring you the most resilience in life, and then trigger and train yourself in those emotions when they're not there, which is usually when you need them,
right.
You can transform your own life.
Amazing. So I love this. I love this so much, and I wish we could continue. But I think that what you've done is really give, I hope maybe switch a little bit of a mindset for some with what you have to say. And, one of the things that I just kind of want to add is when we go through tough times, whatever those times are, and you hit on this a little while ago, but I've experienced it myself. I mean, we all have. It's those times that build us and make us who we are. Those are the times that make us strong. Those are the times that build character. Those are the times that make us the bigger, better person if we allow it to do so. And I think that's what we have to take out of it, is to allow the yuck to create the good, because that's what it's doing, right?
It's your choice.
Yeah,
it can
absolutely.
either be yuck or it can create good.
Yep.
It's your choice. Life is your choice.
Yep.
Every single moment of it, life is your choice. So choose well, and you'll
Yeah.
build a life you love living. And it's all up to you. And if I do anything, I started this, interview with, I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to empower them. So I look for all the tools, all the strategies that will empower you to step up and be the change you want to see in the world and make the difference that only you can make. And that's what my work is all about. So such a joy to be with you today.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Tell everybody how you can be found.
And you know what? My website is myrelationshipgenie.com. And for your listeners, if you'd like a free copy of my book, I set up a special page. Go to myrelationshipgenie.com/free book, and you'll get a copy of you'll get a PDF of my best-selling book. And if you're really struggling in your relationships, make sure you put your name and email in there and get a copy of the book. But on that second page, there's an hour-long program called 8 Keys to Rebuilding Extraordinary Relationships. You will love it. Go check out that program. That's the only place you can find it when you get my free book, myrelationshipgenie.com/free book. And that's how you can reach me. And I hope I've made a difference in your life today. I've brought you some joy and some inspiration and empowered you to step up to your next level. It's been such an honor to be with you today.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, you've inspired me for sure, and I love what you do. I'm so glad that you came on. Thank you so much. And reach out to her. I mean, this is truly inspirational, and I think in many, many, many cases can be life-changing. So reach out and take the step forward. Let's get unstuck a little bit. So for me, of course, you can find me, tastelifenutrition.com, Taste Life Nutrition on all of the social media. I am about to launch, co-creating a course with a couple of neurologically based chiropractors, and if you probably have seen them on my show before. But we are launching a free 5-day challenge that leads up to that course. Yeah, I'm excited about it. The course it's very robust, but the freebie is just kind of a 5-day sugar-free challenge. Let's look at who you are as a person and what you need. We have assessments and we have videos and content, all kinds of stuff inside of that to help you learn you and not everybody else, because we are unique and not everything works it's not a one-size-fits all for anybody, right? So you can find that on my Facebook page. You can find it on my website. You can go to my website. It'll take you to the landing page. Sign up for the 5-day challenge. Get a taste of what the full course is all about. I would love to see you there. So we have a Facebook group for it where we'll be live and answering questions. And so it starts next week. Starts on the 5th. So jump in, but we'll keep doing these challenges. So we're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, how wonderful.
Yeah.
You're making a difference in the world.
Thank you. It's really exciting. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be awesome. So, Genie, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for all that you're doing and all that you do for the world and for hanging out with me for an hour. And everybody else.
My absolute honor. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks.